Good day everyone and welcome back to another edition of this data analysis training. Today we'll be talking about how to connect to an Excel dataset and as well as how to create some basic charts such as a bar chart and a pie chart as well as a scatter plot. So when connecting to an external dataset in Tableau, the first thing to check is to examine the dataset if it's actually well cleaned. And the dataset we'll be using in this example is a Superstore dataset, which I've actually opened in my document. So you can see that it contains the order ID, the order date, the ship date. So doing a clear inspection towards the dataset, you can see that the dataset has actually been well cleaned and examined. You can also see it as a customer ID, customer name, the customer segments, as well as the country, city. So after a clear examination of the data set, we can say that this is obviously a sales data set. So moving on, go to our Tableau, then click on Microsoft Excel. Then we wait for it to process the query. Now we've fully imported our data set. So this contains basically the preview, a brief preview of our data sets. So you can see these are the files these are the columns we actually got from the Excel file. So you can see, but this row ID is generated, so we can see that as an hashtag indicating that it is generated column by Tableau. So order ID, order date, ship date, ship mode. So this is basically how the order is being shipped. So you have the customer ID. Each particular customer has a particular identification, so means of identification, which is their customer ID. So this is their customer name, so the name of each customer, the customer segments, the country, the city. Now the next thing for us to do is to click on this worksheet, and of course if you have another related data set, you can just drag the data set to this particular order section. So it's going to create an inner join by default, so we can actually kind of release those two data sets together and bring us important and meaningful information that is going to help the company. So moving on, click on this sheet. So you can see our data set is actually divided into two: dimensions and measure. So these dimensions contains basically string variables, or date and time values. So you can see that this category is basically a string variable. It categorizes each and every customer. So when you drag it to the rows, you can see that this is basically the product category. So you can either order a furniture category, a office supply category, or can order a technology. So you want to check the profits matched by each category, just drag the profit to the rows, and by default it's going to create a bar chart, so which you can actually kind of change an horizontal bar chart depending on how you deem fits. Then you can click on the entire view. So you can as well change the format, because it's kind of more advisable to remove the grid lines to make the charts more presentable. So you can also change the color as well. So we created the sales and profits category in the scatter plot. So the next thing we're going to be doing is creating is the profits made on each state. because we want to have a clear visualization of each profit metric on each state, the states with the highest profit, the highest loss, and want it throughout the whole state. So the best way to do it is to create a map visualization. To do that, you can just click on this state. You can see that this, and another thing we need to notice that each data type of each and every single one of our columns is being represented by the icons preceding them. So you can see that this ABC is representing a string variable. This is a geographical data set. So this date, you can see this is a calendar icon indicating that this is a date and time data set going on, and this hashtag is indicating that it's a measure, and this longitude and latitude are basically a generated field by tableau. So these are generated fields. They are not present in the data set, but tableau generated their longitude and latitude because we have some geographical data sets. Yeah, so moving on, click on these states. Then we want their profits. So by default, it's going to show a bar chart as usual, indicating that there are some states that actually have a loss. So we didn't make any profit in that particular state, basically a loss. So allowing us like kind of trying to make a decision based on those particular states. Should we continue making advertisements and trying to make customers buy our products in this particular states, or should we just take them out of our target reach because we are basically wasting money? Because from here we can see that we are actually spending more than we are earning. So which allows us like, okay, let us conclude based on what we can actually do based on these particular countries. So you can also decide to, like we're doing, create a map visualization. So you are going to be using an internet connection for you to create a map visualization in Tableau. So what this map is actually indicating is that the bigger the circle, the bigger the profit. You can see that the highest profit made per city is New York. So New York City generates the highest profits, followed by California. Then you can see here that these small dots are actually representing loss as shown by this particular information. So alternatively, we can just use a map to denote it. So we can actually now do a coloring. So we can put our profit inside the color section. So you can see by this legend that any state which is colored orange is representing a loss, while the one which are colored by blue are representing a profit. And you can see that the deeper the blue, the greater the profit. So you can also add our region, our state basically, to the label section. So it can help us like create a visual on our state and our profit. So you can see that California generates the highest profits as well, so followed by New York. So you can label our chart as profits per state, right? So moving on, I also want to create a pie chart. So I want to create a pie chart on the sales per region. So the region with the highest sales and the region with the lowest sales. So we drag our region to the column or rows, either way anyone works. Then drag our sales. Then by default it's going to show a pie chart. Now we want the pie chart, right? So first you have to make it an entire view to make the chart bigger. Then the size, basically want to like reduce it a bit. Yeah, either way work. So our sales, put it in the label section as well as the region. And you can as well remove the region since it has already been in the legend. So you can see that the blue represents the central region, while the green represents the western part of United States, because basically by checking our visuals you can see that these are all United States in the United States of America. So basically representing that this is a US company, so this company is based in the United States. And so we can conclude here that the central region is generating the highest sales. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have any question you can reach out to me via my WhatsApp. So have a nice day.